I'm
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Server Error 405 alongside the demanded one himself, Joe Wolfgang. This is the Gorilla Booking Podcast, and we got some guests here, Joe.
We're just growing. You're just growing with guests.
We got a packed house. I was expecting the heel turn. The heel turn. You've been a nice guy every
Oh,
week
yeah.
now.
No, I can't heel turn tonight with the leader of the Face Club. Yeah, I'm dropping another one in there.
The leader of the
With us
face.
tonight, that is the host of Pick the Push, Ian
The push.
Fox. Pick the
Ian.
Push.
There you go. He's smart.
Says the
He knows that
DW.
we're both dumb. So he's just gonna keep it there because he knows we'll just fuck up the name over and over. We'll call it push and pick and picking
Just
and
keep trying to
pushing.
say it. That's
Is
fine
it
with
the
me. We'll
push
keep talking
pick?
about it.
Yeah,
I'm
just keep
A-okay
going.
with that.
Push? Is it the pick push, the push pick? It's pick
Yep.
the push.
There it is.
Anyway,
Who else we got, Joe?
Anyway, we also got, I guess we got to bring it up because he will be a double champion come Worlds Collide. That is the Dirty Dre.
There it is.
Y'all mad,
Who
bitches.
else we got, Joe?
Followed by AEW's biggest paid shill of them all, who's got better hair than Paul Levesque in his 90s.
Sure.
That is Smithception.
As you can tell, I came to put on my Sunday best.
There you go.
That's right.
Are we
And then
sure that that's not Raven?
finally, if NXT had a Eugene, it would be the Master DJ.
Blow up in the red, it can pull up in blue, doesn't matter because that boy's bouncy.
There you go.
I don't see.
Oh my god!
All right. I don't know if that's a great compliment or not, but we're just going to go ahead and move on from that Eugene one. We're just going to talk about WWE Clash at
That has
Paris.
slight heel.
There you go. Clash at Paris. Some of us watched, some didn't, And me personally, it was okay. It wasn't horrible, but it was okay. But we were talking a little bit before this, and DJ, he's like, "What? I really liked it. I guess I'm crazy because it was okay. So why was it better than okay?"
For me specifically, like I said, I thought it was just an overall, just a good show for at least a B pay-per-view because I wasn't expecting anything like spectacular or anything. I mean, Sheamus and Rusev, that to me exceeded expectations. I was seeing a lot of people continue to try and say it was going to be bad or anything, but I honestly was blown away by it. And I know a lot of people, I even talked about it on my TikTok page, want to criticize Logan Paul saying he's just a fucking spot monkey. But I'll give him credit. He actually went out there and had a pretty solid / good match with John Cena. I will say the one thing that really I didn't care for was definitely Nikki Bella and Becky Lynch. And I definitely had no reason to care about it because that was a really bad match.
Yeah, it wasn't very good. I said something in the Discord server in Wrestling Hot Takes. I said that Logan Paul is right now top 5 worker, one of the best workers. And the only thing that hinders him is the fact that he doesn't wrestle a lot and he's Logan Paul. But the dude is picked up on the business faster than I've ever seen anyone in the history of wrestling. I dare you to tell me who picked it up faster.
He
That
signed
just
to a
came
long-term
out
deal.
of fucking social media with no wrestling training at all. And when he has a match, they're all good matches. He can work. He looks like he's been in the ring for years. Ian's making faces.
He's this
Ian.
generation's miss. He's this generation's miss.
But
That was mean to the Miz.
Yeah, that's kind of fucked up, Joe.
And I don't
No,
like
if you
the
think
Miz.
about it, no. If you think about it this way, the Miz started in the spotlight before he got into wrestling, much like Logan Paul. For everybody here, except for me and Sever, who probably watched it live.
Yeah,
I watched
one-
Bruno Sammartino wrestle. So
No, I'm talking about Miz on the real world. I'm talking about Miz.
oh
on the
yeah,
real
yeah,
world.
yeah, yeah. I'm a huge real world mark. Shout out John Brennan.
Yeah,
He'll be on here soon.
y'all definitely watched it because I wasn't even born yet.
Right. So exactly.
Yeah.
So watching the Miz actually start his career like Logan Paul, not in the ring, not being homegrown, not being performance centered.
They're not the same though.
Like that.
They're not even close because Miz, number one, Miz didn't take to the business like Logan did.
No.
Miz, when he first started, was
I'm not
horrible.
saying the
Are you going
trajectories
are you going to
way
like
different.
notoriety and publicity? Is that what you're going off
I'm
of?
not even. No, I'm talking about trajectories. I'm saying their linear movement is not the same, but their style of getting to the business was.
I mean,
Logan's this way, Miz went this way. Like Logan's up, Miz took long term.
but at the end of the day,
get what
just going back to the point is like there's not a like what wrestler is better right now, like in that top five? Like who do you say, like if you name someone, who are the top, who do you think are the top five wrestlers in all wrestling right now?
I mean, Logan Paul's definitely not in there.
wrestling?
I mean, anybody can wrestle long enough to have their fundamentals down and look like they're able to put on good matches and have them be the reason for it when you're only having them be in there with people that are also good wrestlers.
Yep. If you're putting that perspective for people that would be able to try and work long matches and work with anybody, I'm putting Hangman on that list right now.
I mean, but here's the thing. Logan hasn't been like in the business that long. And for him to be as good at this level, to be able to have matches with John Cena and to be able to be anywhere near a main event conversation is insane. So you could say, well, he's working with other people, but
that's why I think the Miz comparison's horrible. That's not even like a good comparison. Like the Miz struggled the first 4 years of his career. It was bad, like
and then
really
they
bad.
even made him stop wrestling.
He was
like
bad. Yeah,
he
they
was
had
like
to stop him,
hosting like the
everything.
NXT stuff, and when NXT first started,
that was like 2 years after. That was 2 years after the contest. He had to do the Diva search. That's how bad the Miz's career was. You can't compare him and Logan. Logan Paul's far ahead of him.
I'm not
Way
talking
far.
about
even
their
now he's a better
career
wrestler.
Now I'm talking about how they got into the business.
They're both famous and they got in the business.
But even
that way.
even with that though, like Logan Paul got a different
Name
deal than what the
name another wrestler outside of Logan
But
Paul
what-
and
but
The
what
Miz
I'm saying,
who
you
started their
can't
career outside of
all right,
actually
so
wrestling.
hear me out, Joe. You name me another wrestler who came in here as a celebrity and got a sponsorship deal on top of a WWE contract. You can't name me that.
That's because not everybody was an influencer first and clearly cares
My
more about being an
my
influencer
point
than being a
Bad
exactly,
wrestler.
Bunny?
Smith. My point exactly. You can't say that
Bad
the
Bunny would
Miz
be the
is,
only other
they
person.
came. Yeah, but Bad Bunny's his own. Like he's his own thing. He didn't get signed as like, oh God, I'm just gonna bring the Bad Bunny merchandise and all of this shit with me. No, Logan Paul brought Prime with him. Prime is everywhere you look in WWE. You can't name me somebody else in wrestling doing that.
But that's not WWE though. That was TKO capitalizing on
No,
his
no, 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 no,
influencership.
no, 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 no.
Yeah, it
TKO,
was.
TKO is that's perfectly fine. They could have said no. You can't name me another
You can't
person
say
in
no. They're a
wrestling doing
corporate
that.
company.
Who? But who?
Blood money spread all
Joe,
over the mat right now.
who else is doing
You have a
that?
Rihanna thing there.
No, Joe,
Yeah,
you're missing the point. Who
you're
else
missing the
cares more
point.
about the capitalistic side of the business and what they can do for brand deals than actually putting on a good in-ring match with somebody who's not already an established GOAT or an established good in-ring performer?
Yeah. Because like when you put it all
That
to
was sarcasm, by the way.
I know it was. I know 100% it was. Totally
when you
did.
put that all into perspective, it's pretty much all directly points to Logan Paul, and no one else really like has that little statue.
I mean,
Don't get me
there's
wrong,
nobody
Logan
bigger than
Paul
him.
is a media icon. I would never ever take away that. I would never take that away from him. But the original question is who's a better workhorse than him? That's what the original question broke down to.
In-ring worker is what I'm talking about.
In-ring worker?
In-ring worker
Yeah.
is what I'm talking about.
Hangman Adam Page, Seth Rollins, John Moxley, Gunther, CM Punk.
John
That was
Moxley?
5 right off. Yes.
Why John
Unironically,
Moxley?
John
Moxley spends more time getting cut and bleeding. What work does he do besides
congratulations, you
his hardcore shit?
brought the one stereotype that he actually did silently
because that's exactly what he does. That's why people talk about it.
Yeah, and that's what he phased away from doing because he silently took the criticism. People who watch John Moxley matches and actually keep up with the AEW product recognize this. That's a stereotype. A stereotype that existed for a reason, but a stereotype nonetheless.
Yeah,
right, and that's
true,
fair, but is he an actually good
fan.
when was he an actually good in-ring worker? When
His match with Hangman Adam Page, his matches with Bryan Danielson, his match with Kevin Knight, his match with Speedball Mike Bailey, his match with Swerve Strickland, his matches with Orange Cassidy, fuck
So when
do I need to go on?
you're just naming matches that he was in. So you're saying
Because
that
they were
most of those guys are
solid in
better
ring
than
match.
he is. Most of those guys are better in
And
ring.
that
So it's
and
kind of
does
like
that
your
not
point.
does that not ring the Logan Paul comparison right there to
Right.
what
He
Joe
literally,
said?
like,
No,
literally
because
literally
John
said the
Moxley
same
got
thing
into
about Logan
wrestling
Paul.
You're
for
literally
wrestling.
saying
Just
what
because
Joe
John
said is
Moxley
right.
wrestles a different style than what you're used to, and what Logan Paul is
He
good
wrestles the
at.
same when he was
But
Dean Ambrose.
you literally just said Logan Paul goes out there and has these great matches with great people. Does
Yeah.
Moxley not do the same thing? He literally
No,
goes out
because
there with
John
these.
Moxley is also a good
Stop it.
wrestler. Just because
Stop
you're,
it, man.
Everyone you
You
named
just
that he
named them. They're
had.
all better in-ring workers than
Yeah,
I
him.
they
like
were
how
all
everybody
in
else
ring.
is getting upset just because I
Who's
acknowledge that John.
upset?
Who's
I'm
that? It's
not
just
gonna-
This
this
is
is
a
a
people who
debate
are
debate
show.
raising their
This is
voices.
a
I'm not
debate
gonna-
show.
debating.
What the
It's a
fuck? We're
I'm not
debate
supposed to
upset
show.
agree.
because I'm not getting
Jesus
upset because
Christ.
I'm not getting upset because I'm looking at the names of people that you just listed, and I can definitely agree with them. Like I said with Hangman, I even said guys like Swerve. I can even go to New
They're
Japan.
all better.
I can
They're
even
all
go to-
better than
All better than
Mox.
Mox. All
I can
They're all
even, yeah,
better
I can
than
even go
Mox.
to Jack. Like I said, I
Are
can
they
even go to New
better
Japan.
than
I
Mox,
can
or
Kenyon Knight
are
over
you
them.
just don't like Mox's style?
No,
Because
That's the
Mox's
big
style,
thing. That's the
Yeah.
fucking thing. It's okay if
because
you don't
Mox's
like John
style is
Moxley's
close to
style. It doesn't make
Cena's.
him not a good
You'll
worker.
glaze Cena about it,
you're
but
telling me Moxley's better than Speedball Mike Bailey? You're fucking lying.
That's
You're
When did I say he was
lying.
better?
no, I
When
said
did I say he was better than
style.
Speedball
I'm
Mike
because
Bailey?
asking
you
you.
na-
I'm asking you. You
because
named all these people.
You're asking
You
me
named
something
them.
that I never
Yeah,
claimed.
but
I said
I
that
got
him
you.
and
Yeah, I
Speedball
gotta go
Mike
with
Bailey
you.
was an
Yeah,
example of a
yeah,
good John Moxley match.
yeah.
And you said, oh, so that means you mean he's better? That's like the
because you
textbook
made
definition of a
the
fucking straw man. That's why this is fucking
I
stupid.
asked you if you
because
thought he was better.
because you made the
No.
argument about Logan Paul that he's up against people that are like better wrestlers, so that's part of the reason why he's good. And then now you're listing all these people that Mox went against, and they are all literally better in the ring than he is. So
You
it's
could
the
argue
same
that
thing.
you could argue that people like Kevin Knight are not better than John Moxley because of how relatively new Kevin Knight is to the business. John Moxley's better than him. You could say that the
He's
current
better than a guy that's new to the business. I hope so.
I would hope so. He's been in business what damn near
Okay,
30
so
years.
Okay,
let's
okay,
Speedball-
so
let's do Speedball Mike
it's
Bailey
not
then.
enough to just name guys that you could argue are on Mox's level, if not better. So you asked me to name someone that's not better, and now you say, "Oh, well, I'd hope he'd be better."
Well, you named a
Where's
guy
the
who's
logic
new.
You
here?
named a dude who's new to the business.
Right.
Relatively
What do
new
you
to the
Bailey
business
is
Okay.
not
compared
new to
to
the
What do you
business.
New
expect?
to the company.
relatively
Mike
new to
Bailey
the
is
business
not new
compared
to
to
the
Moxley,
business.
and it's
No, he didn't
because
say
you
it's
gave
not
me
Mike
shit
Bailey.
for only listing guys that were
It was
on
one of the
Moxley's level,
matches.
if not higher.
That's not what
I
he
gave you a
talked
guy
about.
that's
He said Kevin Knight. He didn't say Mike Bailey's new to the business. That what we're
No, he said Kevin Knight.
No,
was
no,
new
no,
to the
no.
business.
Kevin Knight.
No.
I said
You're
he was
making a
relatively new to the
comparison.
business
Relatively
compared
new.
to Moxley. Active fucking listening.
Yeah, we're the ones that are mad. Okay, go ahead. So you know what? We're gonna keep the kumbaya going, and we're gonna move on to AEW because it's my fault that I brought up Logan Paul. But you know what?
AEW.
I'm happy that
AEW.
we did. So the AEW ratings aren't fantastic. They haven't been good for a while. So we have some AEW pros. They love AEW. I want to hear what you guys say first on how AEW can improve in the ratings because clearly they can have all the best wrestlers in the world. They can have all these great debuts, all this and that. But if their ratings aren't good, all that's just smoke. So
Are
we'll
we
start-
talking ratings on cable, which is just like an increasingly obscure platform for
brother.
watching
It wasn't-
not only
it was-
wrestling?
Here we go. Here's the Meltzer response. It wasn't like
Bros
that when they
finding
were
every
cooking
loophole,
NXT every week.
Every loophole.
Now
to
all
get
of a
Because
out
you-
of this
sudden,
question.
Is it finding a loophole, or is it acknowledging that everything isn't just a yes or no and A and B and everything doesn't exist
because
as some
everyone
binary?
has the
It
same
is.
I got
cable
you.
ratings.
I got
Everyone
you.
has
But
the
it
same
is.
I
cable
got you.
ratings.
I got you, Smith. I got you, Smith.
Go ahead.
Did in the last 5 years, AEW have to take a sponsorship deal and offer up another deal with the mouse in order to get out of debt?
Hold up,
Okay.
before you even answer that, right? No, they just created Collision and brought another shitty TV show to TV, bro. That's what the problem is. Tell AEW stop booking these dumbass shows that nobody's watching. Nobody's watching it. 286,000 views, Joe. I can get that shit in a street fight with 3 crackheads. Are
And
you fucking
even-
kidding me? AEW fucking sucks ass, bro. Smith,
And
stop
even-
gassing this shit up. Shit's buns.
And even
What the fuck is wrong with y'all, man?
All
Y'all
right.
talking crazy.
Now is the bad one.
Man, I'm about to smoke my weed, bro.
Yeah, because
Even-
you clearly need it.
I don't need it, buddy.
Even if
What
we're
is
gonna
this?
say the
Answer
ratings,
service
wait, hold on,
question.
TKO
Wait,
TKO.
hold on. Even if we're talking about the ratings, like or which cable ratings or whatever, like everyone who's on television is having the same fucking Nielsen bullshit ratings, whatever they go by nowadays. They also factor in streaming numbers separately for everybody. So it's not just AEW is the only one that, okay, well, we only had less than 300,000 people watch one of our shows. So, but if you break it down to this many streaming people watching and all this other stuff, everyone still has that. So I'm just wondering, the ratings aren't bad. So as an AEW fan, what would you do to improve that? Sponsorships and all that, whatever. I'm talking about improving the product to get the ratings up because the ratings are low. I don't know why that's like such a weird thing to say and how it could be defended because their ratings are shit. Period. That's a fact.
Well, here,
That's
the
not an
thing is this,
opinion. It's
though.
a literal
The
fact.
only ratings you can go against, is SmackDown.
But their ratings are
That's the
bad
truth.
though. I mean, they're beating what like TV rerun TV shows of like fucking
Fucking
Big Bang Theory
Seinfeld
or
and
whatever.
shit, bro. Like,
What is like what
The thing is, though, is
the
okay. So
ratings
you
are
have
bad,
Collision on Friday. You have Collision on Friday at 10 p.m. Right?
but their
You
main
have
show is
SmackDown.
Dynamite and it's doing bad. So Collision doing bad is one thing.
But what's
Dynamite's
the difference?
doing 600 and something every week
You,
consistently.
well, where's Raw?
Who cares? What does that have to do
The
with
point,
Dynamite that's on a separate night?
you're missing the point.
What?
But what I'm saying to you is that no matter what, everybody on cable access TV is taking this hit, no matter what it is. The only thing
What
that
does
ever
that have to
grows.
do? So what? If every business
So
around
you're
you
asking,
is doing bad, if every
everything around, if you're doing bad and everything around you is doing bad, it's the logic that everything, it's because of how it's being viewed. That was the point.
but they're still getting millions of people watching them, except for NXT, which is around the same as AEW, maybe like a little bit more every week.
Yeah, that's
but the,
kind of
the,
going to happen when one company has spent the better part of several decades having a global monopoly over how pro wrestling or sports entertainment is allowed to be presented on
And
North
then
American
also
television.
move
But it's always
themselves
been
to
presented
streaming
that way, but it
platforms to
wasn't a
hide their
problem when you guys
viewership.
were beating NXT every week. It was the same
No.
years ago. No, I'm talking to Smith because Smith is saying, well, it's a global, like, dude, where was that energy like, what, 3 years ago when they were beating NXT? It was the
You
same.
mean that
WWE's
period
never
of time where
changed.
the least amount of people were watching wrestling because every company that was even putting on a product at the time collectively was admittedly not putting on their best work?
So the only time AEW has good ratings is when people aren't watching wrestling? Because you guys were
what
cooking
the
NXT
That
fuck is
every
he
week.
talking about?
is not
That
what
is
I
Then
said.
maybe
not
you
what
didn't
he
understand
said.
what I said.
Because if
I said that NXT was getting
no,
their
because like
asses beat by AEW every week years ago. No,
I was
there's no
actually trying to
difference.
provide some nuance to an answer, and then immediately you and Vondre
you
jumped
know,
down
because
my
like
throat
the thing
about
is,
it, so I don't know what you're fucking on
they were
about.
able to beat NXT because it was the shiny new toy and was able to try and have the bigger gap than NXT. Because he is right, because at that time, 2019, dog shit year for wrestling besides AEW, because it was starting to be the new thing that started to make people really watch wrestling because of how
Right.
bad the product was for WWE. So obviously, of course, they had the bigger jump and they had the bigger echelon because it was something new. It's something that brought a lot of different side of fans that enjoyed the more hardcore side of it, and they watched it a lot more. And
Okay.
obviously, yeah, it's not the same that it used to be how it was for AEW like it was in 2019, 2021, but even then, it's still able to at least reach the same gap as NXT.
But what
But
we're getting off the tangent is the
But
question
actually, I
is
will
how can
defend
you
it's
improve
NXT.
the product? That's literally
I'll
the
defend
question. How
NXT.
can you
I'll even step
improve
in
the
and defend
product?
NXT though. I'll even defend NXT for a hot second. The
why?
problem with NXT, because here was what the problem with NXT was. At the time, NXT was developmental. It's not now. I mean, it is,
Still
but it's
is.
not as was.
It's
No,
not
it,
as
it was
it's not as much.
way farther more
It
than
is
what
not
it
as
used to
But
be.
they
much
still have a
as
lot of people there that
WWE.
are brand fucking new. They got fucking
Yeah.
Olympic gold medalists and
Yeah,
there's still a lot.
yeah,
There's
I
a few
get
like
that part,
Ethan
but
Page and all like, okay,
All
yeah.
right, so
but
this,
what I'm
all
saying
right,
though is what that product was to what it is now is completely different.
yeah, but we're
That's
talking about right
yeah.
now, Joe.
Because
We're
then,
How
talking
do
about
you
how
hold
do
on,
we
so
improve
hold
how
on,
do you
AEW's
hold on,
ratings?
how do you
hold,
improve this shit now?
hold on. Listen to what I'm saying though. So what happened is if you're talking about the NXT problem was you took NXT, brought it off the network, dropped it onto USA, and then started rapidly changing it. No one likes change. People like new, but people don't like change. So the thing was is when you had AEW having the solid platforms, running Chris Jericho out there, running Moxley out there, running Omega out there, mega superstars, national icons. That's why they were getting great ratings. Now, I'm not saying that bring back the old, because it's going to be hard to get Chris Jericho to come back to AEW on his contract when he probably wants to finish off in WWE.
He's
We
also a
got
fat piece
Moxley.
of shit that shouldn't wrestle with his shirt off anymore. I'm just saying.
Well,
It's a little too far.
he's on the other
It's
end of
not
he's
too
on the
far.
other end.
He's fucking disgusting looking. He looks like fucking Eugene Krabs who took the shell off, bro. It's
He gets
disgusting.
to. He
Stop
gets
letting
to
him
look like
come out
that.
there, bro.
Honestly, it gets closer. Honestly, the more I look at Chris Jericho, it gets more looking like a much.
Looks like my fucking granddad.
We also heard the name Eugene
gets
used twice
closer-
in this podcast, by the way. That
he
has
gets
to be
closer
somebody's
looking
fucking
like-
That's
parlay.
crazy word. That is
He gets
crazy
closer
word.
looking like a thinner version of Fat Bastard from Austin Powers.
So
You
how
know,
do
all
how does
bullshit
AEW
aside,
improve
how do
the
you improve?
ratings?
Yeah,
How
that's
do you
it.
improve the
The
ratings
point
now?
is this.
Because they had good ratings, and then the bad part of wrestling during
Smith,
that
I'll be
time.
quiet. I'll be
So
quiet.
the ratings have since went down, because from what I've always noticed with AEW, when I used to watch religiously every weekend or every Wednesday and then weekend for like Collision, all the other bullshit, Rampage and shit, they're big on debuts. And then once they have someone debut, then nothing really the person, whoever they're debuting, phases out. So there isn't any substance. Sure, there's a few good storylines. There's Toni Storm. She's great. She's probably one of the best women performer right now currently, because she's super entertaining. But
Hey,
you
is
have
Rampage still on TV?
I don't think
No,
so. I
it's
think they
dead.
got rid of
No.
that shit.
Page is dead.
Yeah, so that one's gone. So Collision
The
should be
thing is
next, to
this.
be honest. But
The
go
thing is
ahead.
this.
How do they improve, Joe?
WWE has created a model. It's a model, right? We all agree with that. The thing is what was AEW lack is actually deep segments, like what WWE does. Like, you could talk about how Toni Storm's segments are what draws you in to want to watch
It's the
Toni Storm
shit.
match.
It's the
And
shit.
then she's actually a great wrestler behind it.
Yes.
That is what's going to create the thing. You got to get a good like when MJF was with the Hurt Business, like you kind of ran that really a little too fast, in my opinion. But like doing those segments where you have MVP, who's great on the microphone, with MJF, great on the microphone, like you get those microphone segments and then it leads into a great match, is what is needed. Unfortunately, also have not jammed it down into like 2 hours. I do believe maybe if you were to take away like maybe 5 minutes more wrestling and bring in like 5 minute more segments, you probably can get back viewership, because people would then keep an eye on the product because they want to see what happens next.
All right, Ian, you've been very quiet. Obviously, you probably are just steaming over there, and you want to just jump into the argument. But
So mad.
what do you think about everything that's been said, and how do you improve it?
So I watch Raw, SmackDown, and Dynamite weekly. I watch every pay-per-view for everyone that I can. I want to like WWE more, but I honestly believe that if anybody took the time to watch 3 or more AEWs in a row, it's going to be like they will be more sold on AEW. It's for whatever reason. Like I said, I want to like WWE more, but I really don't care about the Seth Riders. Like, it really just seems like a remake for that whole thing.
Riders.
Like, it doesn't matter to me. Every time they talk, bringing Becky in is cool, but that just leads to like a very obvious like what they're gonna do and how they're gonna do it. But like, they built up so much for like, I love John Cena. They built up his heel turn to be a thing, and then like, oh, we can get Brock, and then they just changed like real quick on a dime for Brock, who we won't see for like another month, even though he came back at SummerSlam.
You don't think he'll be at the first ESPN
He will
show?
be at WrestlePalooza. He'll be at September 20th is when we will see Brock next. He might be like on a SmackDown or a Raw before that, but like we won't see him for a long time.
Joey, what's up?
I had a question for the AEW guys, right? So you guys, Ian just said if you take time, watch 3 straight AEWs, Dynamites, boom, we'll be locked in, right? Why would I go watch AEW when I can go watch GCW do the same thing? Or I
Because
can go
GCW
watch
doesn't do the same thing as AEW. If they did, it wouldn't be a different promotion with a different roster of people.
their pro wrestling.
Well, everything's pro wrestling.
Everything's
I don't
pro wrestling.
care what you watch. Bees don't take the time to tell them why honey is better than shit. I know what I like, and AEW is consistently better. SmackDown had a really good thing with Sami Zayn. I was not ready for that title change, but I didn't know he was going to stay on SmackDown. There's been consistently glimpses of good things, but AEW is consistently like better wrestling, and for whatever reason, that holds my attention better. And it seems like they're starting to do more segment stuff, like a little bit of stuff like the Young Bucks is like all like a story like driven like segment,
That's
I guess.
hilarious.
To
Yeah,
answer
I
the
That's
love
so
it.
hilarious.
To answer the question earnestly as to why you shouldn't just opt to watch GCW instead if you were going to give AEW a chance, it's because if GCW is one end of the spectrum and WWE is another end of the spectrum, AEW will land close to the middle, but obviously more towards the WWE side because it does pull influence from the way WWE structures their show, but obviously with more of a focus on the pro wrestling. It takes the extremes of the both ends, finds a happy place, focuses more on the pro wrestling. That's why it has the audience that it does. And if you really do want my opinion on what I think they can do to get those oh so crucial Nielsen ratings back up, I think, you know what, they would probably pull more from what the WWE does. The reason that I reject that notion on principle is because and I'm including myself in this because of the way I used to be when I was way more passionate about shit that didn't matter. Why you would use ratings to determine why you like art is missing the forest for the trees. I know that this was a discussion about what they could do to get the ratings up. Why are we talking about ratings at all when we should just be enjoying what we enjoy? It's why I don't fucking bring the smoke when it comes to discussions like this anymore because it's so goddamn pointless that I feel like I'm the same person and everybody else around me is just being the 2020 version of me, where they care more about fucking getting their personalities out there than bringing any kind of nuance to the discussion at all.
Well, the problem with that is I understand that, you feel that way. You're able to like what you like. That's bottom line. That's like no brainer. But at the same time, you want your business to be successful. And what's successful in the eyes of a lot of people is if this
It's
is
not
getting
cable numbers,
ratings.
clearly, because if it was cable numbers, then they wouldn't have gotten a what, several billion-dollar deal and a streaming platform through Warner Brothers Discovery in spite of these record low ratings. Like, clearly that just shows that the ratings have fuck all to do with what is success in
That's not a
business,
true
not just
state.
for
That's not a true statement.
it
What you
is a
just
true
said is
statement
not a
because
true
they have
statement.
that deal regardless.
No, they
Because
have
these
the deal, yeah, but they got the deal how long ago? The ratings have been
A
really
year
bad.
ago.
Yeah, they got the deal like a year ago. Their
Look, in
ratings
that
have been
same
shit for like the last few months, and that matters. That means like, hey, maybe we have to move networks. Maybe we should put our shit on Tubi. Like, there's a huge difference. So maybe
And
they
if
need
they
better
do end up moving
promotion.
networks, then that's a conversation we can have for when that happens. In the
But that's
meantime,
bad. I
literally
want to
all
see
we're
them
doing is
succeed. I want to see them succeed. And if they have
I want to
shit
see them
ratings, they're not going to
succeed too.
succeed.
And you know what? If there was some kind of historical precedent for this, like, oh, I don't know, all the times that we heard that Fox was not happy about SmackDown, but it stayed on SmackDown for how long before it actually ended up moving to a different platform, and we saw the numbers that SmackDown was doing during that time. If that was actually a big fucking deal, then we would have seen something like that happen
Yeah,
during those
WCW,
times.
that happened. They had to close. They fucking Turner sold the shit.
well,
Time
Well,
the
everybody
Time
had a
Warner.
finger in that old whore.
That's true. That's true.
go to DJ first. DJ has his hand up.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had my hand up the whole time because I want to try and answer that question. I also want to answer the question that Joe said earlier. So for me specifically, I constantly continue to hear people say that AEW is right now having a big uprising because it's really been struggling for the past few years. And I even tried to say this type of question my first time on this podcast before, of course, it ended and we had to time out and then, of course, close everything out. For me specifically, even when you have a good product, the one thing that you need to try and always do is make sure people actually pay attention. And even with the big uprising and the big tension that AEW is getting, it still is struggling regardless. And as for what Joe was saying earlier, for me specifically, I had this question for like hours and I was ready to answer it. To me, with the fact that you lost Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland, push more people, especially the goddamn women, because I'm starting to get sick and tired of it being just Tony, Mercedes, and Athena in the spotlight. We need more women to be showcased, need more of them to actually shine, because if you're telling me you have women like Alex Windsor, Chris Statlander, Willow Nightingale, Queen Aminata, Julia Hart, Sky Blue, and many of the women that are on the roster, and they barely get the amount of recognition the other three get, you cannot be serious, because if you put them in the ring with them, they will have in-ring bangers. And
You
they don't
say
get
that like Joe and
different.
I would disagree with you.
Ridiculous. Yeah, I know, because it's hard to try and disagree with that statement, because I know how talented all three of them are when it comes to Tony, Mercedes, and Athena and what they bring to the company. It's just, if you're going to build those three women and no one else, it's going to make it hard for anyone to try and pay attention to it. And with Swerve and Will Ospreay gone, now it's time to start focusing on them a lot more so that they can get the big spotlight into the main event scene, and they could possibly make their pay-per-views.
I agree with that. Actually, what you said makes sense. I agree with that.
The problem is, and DJ, you have a strong argument. Don't get me wrong. The problem is the demographic. The demographic really doesn't care for women's wrestling.
That's false.
When it comes to an overall thing, like if you're looking at it overall, when you're looking at it, if you're talking everything else, don't get me wrong. I want DJ's answer to be what it is. I just have to give the cold, harsh reality that when you give, like he even said at the beginning of the podcast, the worst match at Clash of Paris was two veterans in female wrestling.
Yeah, but that wasn't Mickey's fault, because Nikki looked like shit in that match.
Nikki's
She looked
trash,
really
bro.
bad.
Multiple times.
And she was never a good wrestler to begin with.
I've always personally
good.
believed Nikki Bella was a fallacy, and she was never ever a good wrestler.
It was never good.
Yeah, she never was. She was just her looks. And we got 5.5 left, so let's get to that finish line there, Joe.
The point is that I would love it for it to be that way, but the people are not. Are you turning on NBA or are you turning on WNBA?
WNBA now. Caitlin
I
Clark.
say Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark.
But you're still getting AEW viewerships.
Not really. The WNBA
They-
ratings have
they
actually
got theirs up
improved
now.
a lot over since last year.
Over the NBA. They're never
No,
gonna
I'm not
touch
saying
it.
over.
That's
And,
the
and
point.
Yeah, that's-
AEW will never be over WWE.
Yeah, they'll never catch
so
up.
no
They'll never
shit.
catch
But
up.
Yeah,
they're-
AEW is never going to commercially be over WWE.
You just proved Smith's point by what you just said. It didn't matter. It's the WNBA. It's getting somewhere.
But
But
we
it still
want
has
them
good
to have
viewership
high,
ratings,
but we
and
want
it
them to
won't touch
improve their
WWE.
product. That's the whole argument. It's not about
Yeah,
if they're going to ever
and
pass
you
WWE
just
or
answered
not.
that.
Because
Improve
WWE
the
is
product
a
according to
global.
Giving
who?
it a
Your
chance.
own
Give it a
standards. At the
chance.
end of the
It'll
day, all
improve.
you're really
It's to
arguing
like a
about.
lot of people's standards. I'm not the only one complaining. This isn't
This
a hot
is
take.
a wild-
There's a
it's
lot of
no
people
hot
say this
take.
shit in IWC. Like, what are you talking
Yeah,
about?
but it's like
Oh, the
IWC
oh so precious
wrestler.
IWC.
You're a
where
part of
everybody's
it. We
about-
all are.
You're a part
We're
of
all
this,
a part
Nick. What
of
do you
it. You're a
mean?
part of it. You're not fucking
Yeah, but the
outside of it.
I know I'm
The
a part
fuck?
of
The
it.
IWC
And
is
Okay, then what are you talking about?
pushing ratings.
You're
but the
hates this,
IWC
bro.
you're talking about the IWC pushing ratings, but the IWC also wants to see bad.
I know I'm a part of it.
Well, yeah,
man.
there's takes for
Everybody
everything.
loves a train wreck.
You
Everybody
could be
loves
a
train
horror
wreck.
fan and just push for more Friday the 13th movies. Like everyone's
Me.
gonna have
That's
different
me.
shit in there.
That's me. That's
But
me.
no, the thing is everybody wants. We live in an era where we want to see failure. We don't want to see success. We want to see failure. Yeah, we'll say we want success, but really, at the end of the day, we want to see failure.
I don't want to see
Because
them fail.
then-
I watched
but
WCW fail, and I loved WCW when it was around.
but it generates content.
What for a company that's
Failure
failing?
No, extreme success, extreme failure is what generates content. Nothing in the middle.
It brings
Nothing in the middle. We only talked about the banger Sheamus and Rusev match,
I
and we
didn't.
only talked about the Nikki Bella Becky Lynch shitty match. We didn't talk about how Seth Rollins is setting up outside of Ian. We didn't really talk about how Seth Rollins is setting up for AJ Lee's return.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about it because it was just mediocre at that point.
No, for
We
Because-
only
me,
talked about the
I had no. For me,
DJ
specifically, I
DJ
didn't
loved
talk-
it.
No, for me, no. Again, I know a lot of people probably have that thought, but here's the thing: I made it clear at the Royal Rumble and made it clear literally yesterday on my TikTok. I have no faith in AJ coming back because I gave up a long ass time ago.
I think she's coming back for this. It's just so obvious that she's going to. Just by Punk not hitting her and just like you're going to regret that. Like, I mean, what else? Who's going to come out? Rhea?
That's fucking
I mean, that
Rhea
would be the
Ripley.
only option.
For no reason.
Yeah, Rhea Ripley literally had a segment with
No, but
CM
he
Punk.
talked to her in the back, so that was probably the setup for it. He talked to her. Remember, he was waiting for Seth, and then fucking Rhea was there, and he's like, "Oh, watch your back. You know, keep an eye out." So maybe that's going to be the swerve.
SmackDown was.
Yeah,
That was in Chicago. Yeah.
SmackDown's in Chicago.
Yeah. I mean, come on. If AJ doesn't show up, I mean, dude.
The car ran good. Them Talladega Nights right there.
I don't know what to do with my hands. All right.
2 minutes.
We got
2 minutes.
2 minutes left, Joe. How do you want to end this? This very lovely chat discussion right here.
I mean, this has been soup to nuts, like the wild.
I love this. This is what I want.
This is just absolute fucking chaos, and I love every moment of
It's not
it.
supposed to be. We can't all get along. What a fucking boring podcast that
So
would be if we all had the same fucking take.
So
You're right. You're right
looks
too.
like it looks like Server heel turned and went Team WWE with me and DJ.
I'm gonna make it clear. I'm not team anything. I'm team
y'all-
professional
y'all-
wresling. I mean,
y'all
that's
tripping.
the only team.
I'm just
No, it
no, I'm
is.
not
I mean,
WWE.
I used to love
business.
AEW. I used to love AEW.
Tell me the last TNA pay-per-view you watched.
The last TNA pay-per-view?
Pay-per-view?
He's like, they have pay-per-views?
No. The Joan where
Are they
Trick
still
won
every
the title.
week for $5? Are they total nonstop
DJ,
action?
was that Bound for Glory when Trick won the title?
No, we won the title NXT Battleground.
He said it. Is Sting still there?
Hot take right now. I'm saying the hot take right now with the last minute left.
Yeah.
AJ Styles is bound, TNA bound, and he's going to beat Trick for the title now because of how they set this whole thing up. That's the only thing that's ever going to bounce back in his retirement run.
Are we still doing this shit?
Oh, absolutely.
And on that note,
Yeah.
my 2026 Royal Rumble winner is Dominic Mysterio, world champ.
There you go. Smith, last word.
Fuck you.
Bye, guys.